whether proceeds of crime, because corruption committed while you are in service but detected or declared subsequently can have different implications. But let's not get too much into one query because we will run out of time otherwise. So let me move on to the next. I think you all have got the flavor of the first answer. Let me move on to a query to address to Dr. Shivram. This is again another situation which many people, many clients have raised that okay, I wanted to sell a property, I was not getting a buyer at the right price. Suddenly after demonetization, somebody was not willing to pay me that price of, he was asking for 30 crores. Now the person who was willing to pay 25 crores earlier is now willing to pay something like 35 crores with just one caveat. He says, although the circle rate is 18 crores, I'll pay you 15 crores by check and the balance in cash, the payment obviously being made after 9 November. There are few facets in that, but he says that we will execute an agreement, I don't know how far that is valid, dated 1/11/2016 and a final document executed afterwards. That is what the question is, rather the facts are. And then he says that he wants to know whether he can declare this total consideration because the fact of land transfer actually exists. So his perspective is, I am making an actual transaction, I am willing to declare the entire consideration, that is the recipient or the seller is willing to declare the entire consideration. Can this entire amount arising out of sale of land be taxed under the head capital gain? Should he enter into the agreement and sell the property, and how should he make his payment for tax liability? Dr. Shivram, please.
Thank you, Jayant. But you know that as per the query is concerned, Srivaran stated that he can take the old currency. I had my own doubt on that. After the demonetization, whether he can accept it by old currency, because you can go Srivaran for his advice on that. Only I was just thinking, you know, that you have to see the constitutional SS. When the agreement body says that 1/11/2000, and under the constitutional SS, if any person takes advance, though by cash, the explanation 4 will be hit. Therefore, that if any sum received cash for sale of new property beyond 20,000 will be hit by constitutional SS, and he will have for section 271 the penalty for the taking the advance in cash is concerned. Now the 100% will be here to pay the penalty, of course subject to 273B. Now the ultimately shared agreement will be for 18. So 18 crore. So the remaining 3 crore will be liable under section 50C. And then what about how are you going to show the money at all in the URC capital gain is concerned? Possibly very difficult to show it as capital gain. But only thing is what he may take.
Seller is willing to show the entire proceeds. He says I received in cash. Seller is declaring, buyer may not agree.
But here is the case where we know that only one party is, seller is agreeing, buyer is not possible. So whether that possible at all under the scheme, it will be little doubtful. But only thing is that that possibly may go under the scheme of the Prime Minister Garib Kalyan Yojana. There he may deposit and he may get by paying only without having much difficulties. Possibly be able to get out of that. Or of course he may opt for 150 BBE because source is black. There he may have to pay about 70 to 72% he may have to pay. Subject to this he may try. Otherwise my advice will be difficult to accept after the demonetization consideration as the cash is concerned. But let me share with you as soon as demonetization came, one of the consultants told me, sir, we will pay all your fees outstanding for 10 years at one stroke. I was very happy. Then he said, but only cash, no check. Well, what I will do with that? They said that will deposit in your account. At that time I was not knowing you of our friend. Otherwise we would have taken. Now if I not got the cash also, not check also. Thank you.
Okay, let me also just mention that all panelists kindly feel free wherever you want to supplement because that is the whole concept of a panel discussion. There will be other facets to it other than what one particular speaker may want to contribute.
First two, sir, if you recollect, Mr. Justice Chagla in his Roses in December says, when he was made a judge, all the clients are willing to pay their board fees.
Okay. I'll move to question number 3, which is where I put it very briefly. It's addressed to Dr. Elucidated, and since the facts are a little bit, they are very specific, so I'm not going to raising the issue. It's very simple. Holders of 500 and 1000 rupee notes have made some structured arrangements to convert their unaccounted cash into gold, diamonds, real estate, etc. In making these arrangements, they have actually taken the help of certain consultants and bank officials. That being the background, I think the queries are being put up, because each of the queries, there are a series of queries. I would invite Dr. Seth to answer them. I'll not read out those. If you may just deal with it as you answer.
My first observation is define consultant. He has been very charitable in finding a fig leaf. See, the first query is, can provision of PMLA be invoked against the structured arrangement by considering the converted assets and deposits in the banks as proceeds of crime? The answer is certainly yes. There is no escape route, because right at the outset it is said that old notes have holders of old notes have structured arrangement to convert their unaccounted cash. So there is no question of their finding any escape route. Now if we see the section 3, where section 3, where earlier I had mentioned that there are 3 specific sets of actions. Attempt to indulge in, knowingly assist in, knowingly becoming a party, or actual involvement in any process or activity connected with the proceeds of crime. I don't find any escape route, and even if someone gives you a comfort level, according to me, it's very risky. Then concealment, possession, acquisition, use of the proceeds of crime. That also squarely applies. And projecting or claiming the proceeds of crime as untainted property. Now the balance in the account, you are showing that is my wife's money. It will be taken out of the bank by proper means. But the main taint which has been given to the money doesn't go away. Now I am going back to this knowingly assisting any process or activity connected with the proceeds of crime. According to me, those professionals or those consultants who have been involved in this, if there is a search action in the records and they find emails, the authorities find emails or any other correspondence from the server of the other side, which shows their active involvement, whereby such structured arrangements have been assisted or helped by the consultant. According to me, not only that person, but even the consultant will fall within the parameters of the offence of money laundering. Then can such assets be attached under PMLA? If the answer to question 1 is negative, or it is that the consultant as well as the person will be hit by section 3, the answer is yes. Section 5 provides for the provisional attachment of the property involved in money laundering. Is there a scheduled offence in such case? If so, under which law? Now here I would say that there is a schedule in PMLA which has several paragraphs. I will refer to one slide, slide 4. Look at this. Indian Penal Code, Drug Law, Unlawful Activities Prevention Act, Prevention of Corruption Act, which we already seen, Customs Act, evasion of duty, simple. If the authorities found that there is an evasion of duty, that becomes proceeds of crime, that becomes a part of schedule by virtue of this item, paragraph 12 of the schedule. Now, as far as Indian Penal Code is concerned, general impression is that how do I fall in this? Slide 5. Just few examples, not to frighten you, just to caution you. Offences relating to extortion. Now, is there any guarantee that the money which is deposited, the cash which is deposited, has not come from a person who was involved in extortion? Like a mini political party, some functionary here or there. So that will be hit by extortion. Then there is a robbery. Now there is one specific section in IPC 390 where it says simply, in all robbery there is either theft or extortion. Again you are hit. Dishonestly receiving stolen property, section 411 of IPC. Punishment for cheating. Cheating and inducing delivery of property, and lastly dishonest or fraudulent execution of the deed of transfer containing false statement for consideration. Straight. Now I will take you a little back to the definition of cheating, section 415. Whoever by deceiving any person fraudulently or dishonestly induces the person who deceived to deliver any property to any person, or to consent that any person shall retain any property, or intentionally induces the person so deceived to do or omit to do anything which he would not do or omit if he were to not so deceived, and which act or omission causes or is likely to cause dangerous words. It's a subjective judgment. Damage or harm to that person in body, mind, reputation or property said to cheat. Now explanation is the worst. A dishonest concealment of facts is a deception within the meaning of this section. Now, day in, day out, rampantly you come across this particular phrase, a dishonest concealment of facts. Now, if there is a concealment, I don't think there can be honest concealment. Concealment is generally dishonest. So, according to me, section 415 of IPC will state and apply, because of which Schedule 1 will apply, because of which you will fall within the parameters of section 3, money laundering. Now, there is one very pointed question, Roman 5, query. Can the authorities commence action suo motu without filing FIR on receipt of the information and issue notices for discovery and investigation based on suspicion? Now, the question simply says that without filing FIR, can PMLA authorities start acting? Answer is yes. There are three provisions in PMLA. Section 44, dealing with a special court for offences under PMLA, starts with a non-obstante clause, notwithstanding anything contained in CRPC. Now, CRPC section 159 and 60 deal with the FIR. So, this section 44 of PMLA gives a go-by to the requirement of FIR, which is there in section 159 and 60 of CRPC. Then 44(1)(b) of PMLA itself dispenses with FIR. And lastly, section 71 of PMLA says it overrides all other laws as far as they are inconsistent with the provisions of PMLA. So because of these three provisions, there is no need of FIR. Lastly, can any action be taken against consultant, bank officials, etc. under PMLA, and if so, what penal action will they face? Now again, I am foxed by the word consultant. So I will leave it to your judgment. Answer is yes, as we have already seen, that they have assisted in something which is a lawful activity or a process which has led to proceeds of crime. And as far as bank officials are concerned, I need not say anything, it is there in the newspaper. And what penal action will they face? Now this is something which is provided in the law, I think. Section 4, rigorous imprisonment, varying between 1 to 7 years. I don't think we have a choice, they will decide. And fine, which is now without any ceiling. Earlier there was a ceiling of 5 lakhs in the earlier law.
Plus arrest.
No, rigorous imprisonment, I think it is only after arrest they will.
First arrest and no bail.
You are right. That I agree with you. I should have clarified, because non-cognizable means arrest and no bail because of non-cognizable. I thank my
The
friend.
special provision on presumption, the bail will be granted only if the court is satisfied. There is unlikelihood of conviction, which is the dispenses the normal presumption. Says you will be granted bail only if the court is satisfied that there is unlikelihood of being convicted. It's impossible. That's why payment is the most dangerous act.
Very good.
Many people think we are all dealing with money on these civil matters only. But as Viribai is pointing out, most draconian act, intended initially for narcotics only, but the way they are adding to the schedule, so any one of us can be in trouble at any time. So it's a very dangerous act and can affect us any time. Please.
No, you have been very specific. He was very generous by saying consultant, not saying who the consultants are.
Okay. In fact, let me share that the reason why this aspect was not stressed, because usually if we circulate a note saying that be cautious, no one pays attention. But when somebody with the authority of Dr. Seth says that you can be in jail for 7 years, added to that, it could be without bail, be extremely careful as to what advice one is giving and in what circumstances one is giving it, including possibly, as one consultant told me, consultant inverted commas, that he requests people coming into his chamber to keep their mobile phones outside for the reason you don't know what is being recorded. Instead of your getting a fee, you will get into a problem. So be extremely cautious. That is one thing. And just to put, underline and bold, just today morning there is a news of one arrest being made by CBI of a bank official who participated in the enabling of certain conversion, not necessarily PMLA, but one doesn't know which acts would be invoked against him. Let me move forward. I think we have underlined the gravity of the situation. Let me move slightly to a technical issue which our tax colleagues would enjoy slightly more. I am moving to the query. I am first taking a small query for Mr. Pradeep Kapasi, that this is typical, that I have got pending reassessments which are going on, and can I claim therein that since there is certain income in the course of assessment, I am making some additional declarations and I have got cash which I have deposited, which I don't go under the Garib Kalyan Yojana and say that this is cash which is arising from my declaration given in the course of assessment proceedings over there. Would it be possible that if this claim is made during the course of reassessment proceedings, or is it also possible to make this sort of a claim when you are before appellate authorities and the adjudication is still open?
This is a beautiful query. It seeks to settle few of the issues which one had in mind. One is that with this we appreciate that it is possible to declare an income in relation to an assessment year other than 1718. That's one. The second is we also therefore will have to assume that yes, that what is being declared is a cash which was a cash in a relevant year and not necessarily held as a cash at the time of declaration. Having said that, what is important is that the material difference between IDS and this Yojana is that IDS prohibited you, disentitled a person who was in receipt of a notice under 143.2, 142.1 or even 148, or there was a survey or there was a search action. As regards this Yojana is concerned, there are no such prohibitions. There is no disentitlement. A person can walk in even after he has received 143.2 notice. And therefore, a similar circumstances which is being tested under the query is during the course of proceeding for reassessment, there is a proposal for taxing. It might have been detected, it may not have been detected. Still, you can proceed with the declaration. That is what is the assumption which one is deriving on a simple reading of the Yojana, is that there is no disentitlement, there is no embargo on such situations. So therefore, assuming that it is possible to make a declaration in respect of a cash which is sought to be reassessed, there would be a possibility of making a declaration. That is one. This is section 159J. It simply states that a person will not be in a position to call upon reopening in respect of a reassessment or an assessment that has been concluded. Once again, this call is to be taken by an assessee and not an assessing officer. Here is a case wherein the assessing officer has reopened a completed assessment, and during the course of such proceeding, a cash is detected. Let's make it simple. And it is the assessee who would like to go or take the opportunity by getting into the window of this Kalyan Yojana. This is on an apparent reading, this is not prohibited. The second part of the question is whether could it be so done if an appeal is pending and you wish to declare and claim a set-off or a relief. Again, 199J Part 2 clearly disentitles you by making an express provision stating that a person would not be in a position to seek a relief or a set-off on account of a declaration in respect of an appeal or a reference. So this could perhaps settle both the parts. The only request, only suggestion could be that in respect of what asset or what nature of income you are making a declaration, you should nonetheless see that it is otherwise within the language of section 199C.
Thank you, Pradeep bhai. And as some of you might see, I am skipping a few queries in the interest of trying to cover the more important ones. I am moving straight away to Mr. Sridharan. A query which has some ramifications for indirect taxes. The facts of the case are that the person has got, broadly I am saying it's a limited company, the managing director and owner.
Your answer number 4, the judgment of the Supreme Court. In this query number 7, point number 4,
Yes.
can assessee defend is based on judgment of the Supreme Court Girdhar Nanala's case? Answer is yes.
Yeah, I'll come to the
So
facts.
you need not have any worry from indirect tax.
Okay.
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 So no excise, customs or service tax below that are an addition based on cash credit. Okay. And will not be permitted in your.
If you can just take the mic so that everybody would be able to follow.
You are cash. No, I have not come across any case in excise or service tax where any income has been or sales tax. Sales tax, of course, Supreme Court negated, where they try to make you liable for tax based on cash credit found in your books. So that will not be a problem at all.
No, the question is slightly different. The question is, I have declared on the basis, I have got a.
Based on that estimated turnover.
No, I have declared 10 rupees.
Yes.
My net margin of profit is, when I am saying 10, my turnover is 100, my profit is 10 over the last many years.
Yes.
This year I am declaring 40. Therefore, one can draw a presumption that my aggregate should be 400 if I apply the same GP ratio.
That's precisely what Supreme Court says. No. You may do so for income tax, but cannot do it for sales tax. And same thing applies for excise and service tax.
Okay.
So the judgment of three-judge bench of Justice Khanna in 1976, 3 SEC, not 23 SEC. 3 SEC, 1973 SEC, 701 is a complete answer in assessment's favor. There are no ifs and buts in that judgment. They say you cannot draw the inference for sales tax purposes.
Okay.
No.
So therefore one declares in the query what you mentioned is the person declares 5 crores. That is the only thing that is going to be subject matter of the taxation under the scheme, and there is no other ramification so far as indirect
Service tax and excise, there is no ramification.
Okay, okay. That is, I would say, the fastest answer given because even before I could complete the query, the answer is that. Thank you, sir. You helped me economize on the
You
time.
have given the answer.
Can I ask the counter question?
We'll have time at the end if that, because otherwise.
IDS also? For IDS also?
Sir, the Supreme Court judgment didn't bother about income tax, IDS, etc. It simply says, based on a cash credit, you can draw presumption of income. Such a thing cannot be done for estimating a turnover in sales tax purposes.
I think that IDS also question answer, we are about the judgment, after we answered all this. Same.
I will quickly move on to the next query. Again, I am coming to Dr. Seth.